Hello, my name is Jim Mullany from Sitek Process Solutions. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2000. At Sitek, we take the COVID-19 pandemic very seriously. Obviously, I'm not wearing a mask now. However, we are wearing masks in our building, and we have all the safety protocol. However, for the video, I took my mask off temporarily so you can be able to hear what I'm saying and be able to understand what's going on. But we do take everything very seriously. So today I'm doing a video source inspection of 2 each fully remanufactured 470F spin rinse dryers. This is uploaded to our YouTube channel for our customers' acceptance, so I do not give out their name on our video. However, I do give out their PO number. It is PO number PF13292. This customer ordered the 470F systems. You can see they've been upgraded with the state-of-the-art SlickDevice controller. This is called the SlickDevice F1. F because it matches the ferrofluidic seal design of the F model rinser dryer. Let's see for options what we have here. Okay, we have the system itself. We have DI, resistivity, and static eliminator, which are all the 3 main options. So I'll go ahead and check for those. And let me check for the part numbers first. On the back of our system, we have a serial number tag. It's back here. I see it on both of those. This is Sitek Process Solutions, Inc., manufactured by us. System model 470F. System serial number SRD-01277, the manufacture date July 2020, and it gives the full voltage specifications. System over here has the same information except for it is SRD number 01288. Since I'm back here, let's look at options. I do see the water recirculation option behind it, and I do see the resistivity probe option. So let me just now check on the inside for the anti-static. And I see the anti-static probes. And I see the anti-static probes. And I know the anti-static was here because part of the SlickDevice capability, which is far superior than any other controller you can purchase, we actually can monitor the anti-static with a proprietary DLL algorithm that lets you know if your anti-static module dies, which is a huge enhancement for product control inside wafer fabs around the world. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, it's kind of boring watching the system run. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the recipe we're going to run. I'll go and start it. Why it's running, I'll talk about our remanufacturing process and the support that Sitek has on this and multiple product lines. So the process we have here, it's a traditional semiconductor process. 60-second rinse at low RPM, 500. Purge, what the purge does is it blows the DI water out of the manifold so there's no dripping back of the dry cycle. Then you have your dry one, which is a typical lower duration, 90 seconds, high RPM, 1800. And that is meant to use high RPM to sling the DI water off of the cassette, the wafers, and the rotor as it's going through the dry module. And then we have dry 2, which is a traditional one, where you 300 seconds, but you drop down to 500 RPM. There's been many studies done over the years that if you can lower your RPM spinning in the dry cycle, you traditionally have much better particle counts, and that's been accepted worldwide for the last 20 years on spin rinse dryer processing. So. Also, this system has been upgraded, no charge, with our light indicator system. I'll talk about the lights as we're processing. Amber or yellow means we're at idle, ready to go. And as we go through the process and we change some information, I'll let you know. So I'll simply just go ahead and take the cassette, load it in, and hit start. There we go. Cassette's loaded in. And by the way, the bowls look beautiful. I'll talk about that in a second. Of a new process we've started over the last in 2020, which is fantastic for particle control. Okay, load it in and hit start. Alrighty. For the SlickDevice controller, I'm not going to go into all the details and the capabilities of this, only because on our YouTube channel, there's many videos strictly of the controller itself, the programming, the capabilities, the troubleshooting. I'll touch on some of those now, but I won't go through the whole training program because that is done through multiple videos already, and it's it would be a good half-hour video just on that. But right now, to give you a quick overview, we're in the rinse cycle, 34 seconds left. Green is good. Green means the LPP, which is low pressure purge, is on. The 20 PSI sensor that runs the tools on, and the rinse valve is open. Again, over here, it indicates what's happening. LPP and rinse valve are on. And you can see the water spraying. I'll go ahead and wait for the couple more seconds and go into the next step, and then before I go. Okay, so now we're going into purge. As you can see, the purge, what it did, it also, the N2 turned on and the purge valve turned on. And now you can see N2, purge valve, and LPP. Now we're going to dry 1. I'll move over here on this one. The difference is on dry 1 now, you also have the heaters on. and the N2 heater. The N2 heater there and the heater here. You can see this little bowl heater that's lit up. During the process here and at the customer site, you'll see that go yellow or amber. That's because there's a process switch that controls the heater blanket so it doesn't run away. Well, it's actually over temp also. But the process switch, when the heater blanket gets to temp, it turns amber and it stops sending power. And then as it cools back down and hits below temp, it'll then re-engage and start power back to the heater blanket. So you'll see that usually 2 or 3 times in a process as the switch opens and closes depending on the duration of your process. As you can see, we're at 1800 RPM, running nicely here. You might not be able to see this in the video, but we do have our screen cover still on here. That's when we sell the tools new, and this controller, it can just simply peel off. We like to leave it on when we do the shipment so nothing gets scratched on the nice, very expensive screen. The customers can simply peel that off if they like. It turns out it's interesting that a lot of customers actually leave it on the fab because they feel they didn't know that you can take it off and they think it's an extra protection. However, this display panel touchscreen is sealed, so it's fine with gloves and so forth, so you don't have to leave that on. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and talk about, well, first of all, let me show you. We're quite busy here in final test. Here's a double stack that's going for, this is going to be 200 millimeter wafers. Here's a system that a customer sent us to go through our remanufacturing process. Here's another system for, this is for 200 millimeter wafers. This one has the traditional older 101 controller. These have just been brought in and they're going through some of the debugging. And I'll talk about that whole process now of how we bring tools in and how we do our manufacturing. Since we have about 300 seconds, about 4 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about our remanufacturing first. So at Sitek Process Solutions, we rebuild and fully remanufacture spin rinse dryers. We don't care of the size you need to buy. It could be a 1-inch wafer, it could be a 1/4-inch piece, it could be 300 millimeter or larger for some of our tools. In our manufacturing process, we do the same every single time. We take the order from the customer and then we pull the needed parts and or tool out of stock for the configuration. If we have an exact configuration, we break the tool down 100% down to the base metal plate. We go through all of the cleaning of the metal. We go through special electropolishing process. The bowl goes through a proprietary process here of a typical kind of bead bath process, for lack of better things, where we take any contamination of the bowl, it gets re-electropolished for particle control and for past contamination, and it's worked great. We start our remanufacturing process up. We rebuild and test all the valves, the heater blankets, new windows, new door seals. We put on, in this case, they're upgraded to SMC valves. That's a standard on tools we buy from us. The old Humphrey valves discontinued. And we start the dry build. Once the system is done in dry build, we have a second QC done by another technician. If it passes QC, it's brought into wet test. When it's brought into wet test, it's brought in more like this. And usually not even this. It's just the head assembly itself. We then go ahead and hook all the DI up to it from our system, and we go through the DI debugging to make sure there's no leaks in the valve assembly or the fittings and so forth. Once we pass the QC here and it's ran multiple times, again, we have a QC checklist. A second technician reviews it. If it passes, it then is put into its configuration. That would be, here's the one that's halfway done. This is where now we're putting it in, we're running all the wires, and now we're testing for vibration problems between all the poly and so forth. If it passes all this and it runs 50 process runs, it gets put in its final enclosure like this. And this is where a system is then given over to sales for this video. At Sitek, we have our own poly shop. So if we find any polys damaged, discolored, contaminated, whatever it may be, we replace poly. If you didn't know this, our systems look brand new. So our systems have to run like new, and they look 95% brand new. That's kind of an internal policy. It is not kind of, it is our internal policy of our quality control. That's why our company's been around over 20 years. We've done over 2,000 systems. So we have about 2 minutes. Let me talk about the support of our spin rinse dryers. This F model means F as in Frank. We have 100% spare parts. We have motors. We have SlickDevice controllers. We have heater blankets. We have sensors. We have door seals, windows. Everything's brand new. We offer everything that you need for this. So we have if you go to our website at sitekprocess.com, on the left-hand side, the first 7 buttons you'll see are all spin rinse or dry related. The first 3 are the tools. This would be the F model tool you'd go to. You can see many configurations. The second 3 are the parts. You would go to the F model, and again, every part is supported by Sitek. We are the U.S., we believe the U.S. leader in non-OEM spare parts, and becoming slowly the complete worldwide leader, shipping our spare parts and tools around the world. All right, got a minute and a half to go. So we also, then the last button is we do offer spare parts and support for the traditional SST, SAT, and WSST spin semi-tool processors. Those are the solvent and acid processors. Also, about a year and a half ago, Sitek, we purchased Vertec. It was actually owned by Martech at the time, so we are now the legal owner of all the IP rights and all of it for Vertec. That's what the last rinse and dry you saw over there was a Vertec 8-inch system we're refurbing. We've just started shipping our first systems over the last 2 months of complete refurbishment program. It's a different animal, but our engineering group has worked out all the debugs, and we are actually now supplying spare parts around the world for that tool. We have a complete warehouse full of all the parts to build the machines from scratch. Okay, we have about a minute left. What I'll do is I'll let this count down, and then we'll review these, and I'll talk about the final support our customer we have for our customers. So at the end of the process, when it gets down to 0, it'll start spinning down, and as the RPM hits 70, it's called the RSP, Rotor Stop Positioner. It's back on this side of the tool, and it actually it extends out and it rolls against the cam assembly, and it uprights what we call home position 12 o'clock. Once it uprights at 12 o'clock and RPMs hit 0, I'll hear, like see the door's locked, I'll hear the door release, and I'll be able to open up and check for hot end 2 and also check for the substrates. Okay, we're braking on this system right there, and then we should have about 7 seconds to go. As you'll see on this system, RPM, there we go, we just dropped under 70. You saw how it stopped. There we go, notice blue. Green means we're running, blue means unload me. So I'll show you in a second. As this one winds down, 100 RPM, we just dropped below 70, rotor stop positioner, and it blew. So again, amber means I'm ready to run, green means I'm processing, blue means I'm ready to be unloaded. With our system, there's 3 different ways you can acknowledge this. You can hit acknowledge to go back to the main screen, which you don't have to do. You can open the door simply, and it'll go back to the main screen, or you can hit clear here. To show you the most convenient way for operators in the wafer fab, they simply go and open the door. As you notice, we went back to the main screen. Amber means that the process is over. First, I like to feel for hot end 2, right there. Don't want to burn my hand. Nice and warm, nice dry wafers. That bowl looks beautiful. Just to show you here, I'll do it the different way, acknowledge. That goes to the main screen, and then we go to amber. Hot end 2, there we go. Just like the final test for wafers, and they look great. One of the options we do have in our system, if there'll be on the SlickDevice, we monitor a whole lot of variety of the components of this tool during the processing. If there was an issue, you would have an alarm screen come up. This would be red, and you would actually have that alarm flashing. Let's assume that happened. If it was happening, you'd go to alarm, and you'd go to the alarm screen. Right now, we're in the alarm screen, so the system's offline. Nothing's red because there's nothing wrong. But if the resistivity probe had a problem, the door had a problem, the bowl heater, anti-static module, RSP, N2 heater, N2 pressure, or the motor or the tach had a problem, they would be red for that there's an issue with the tool, which the operator would then call the maintenance group. We have one option on the system, so if the tool wants to be taken offline, the operator can simply say, maintenance needed. This is going to rotate between green and amber, which means the system's offline and needs maintenance needed. So if you teach your operators in the fab that if it's blinking like that, it means we have a problem and it has to be fixed. So a maintenance guy or lady would come over, look at the tool and say, okay, I see bowl heater. All right, I'm going to work on the bowl heater. To clear this, they turn off the maintenance and they can start working on the tool and release it back. So it makes a very nice visual inspection from a distance that if the tool is down, it needs to be fixed. Okay, so let me talk about our other support. I've already talked about the spin rinse dryers. We also offer the full remanufacturing of mask and wafer single cleaners. These would be the Ultra T, Ultra Tech, and KNS type high pressure scrubbers with both brush scrub and high pressure. We do all of those systems. We do quite a lot of them. We always have 4 or 5 in stock, and we have many spare parts. If you look under our mask and wafer scrubbing on our website, you see them. We also believe we're the #1 supplier of the remanufacture of the Floorware Integris HTC box washers. That's the 8000, 8010, 8020, and 8030 class of tools. Those are the systems made to clean the cassettes and boxes and wafer fabs. They're all around the world. They look like very large stainless steel wash machines. We actually have 2 systems in here from customers. One that we're doing a complete remanufacture of. One we sold, we refurbished it. We also have 2 more in stock, an 8030, which is the state-of-the-art one, and we also have an 8010, which has a little bit older control system. It runs the same process. So if you're looking for a mask or boat or cassette cleaner, we have those. Besides that would kind of fall into our wet processing line. Then we also have 2 kind of other main categories. One is metrology. We do particle counters. We have 10-core KLA. We're actually doing a 10-core 4000 right now. We do the 6200 class. I mean the 6220, 6240, the 6400 class. We do the 5500s also, the 5000s. We do thin film measurement systems. That would be Prometrics, Nanometrics, KLA, and so forth. We do lipsometry equipment. That would be the Rudolph, Gertner, etc. We do high and low power microscopes. We do Nikon, Lights, Olympus. You can go on our website and we always have, I think right now we probably have, I don't know, 10 or 15 microscopes in stock in our warehouse. We have multiple warehouses here in Rockland, California, that we store a lot of our tools. We also do photoresist pump repairs and sales. So the IDI, Millipore, Cyborg pumps, customers send us their pumps, their controllers to repair. The controller is a little bit harder because of old technology and trying to debug chips. But if you just want pumps repaired, we have complete repair capability. We also sell many customers the pump package with the controllers and all the interface. At Sitek, everything we sell is fully manufactured. We don't sell as is, operational. We stopped doing that 15, 17 years ago. We believe that there was always a stigma about refurbished equipment, so instead we build to the highest manufacturing capability and policies in the world at this point. So we feel that there's no question we're the highest quality manufacturer. We also do, on all the tools I spoke about, we do a video source inspection for our customers. That way they know before their tool goes into a crate or goes into a package, it was running perfectly. Things happen in travel, that's life, we can't control UPS, FedEx, and other shippers. We do support our tools 100% if there's an issue, but we make sure when they leave our system, our site, they're running perfect and the customer has a nice video proving that. Okay, so that will now conclude my video source inspection of 2 fully remanufactured, like new 470F spin wrench dryers upgraded to the state-of-the-art Sitek SlickDevice F1 controller. If there's any questions, you can feel free to call us at 916-797-9000. Ask for anyone in our sales organization. You can also go to our website. All the products have a contact sales button. If you click on that, it'll ask you for your email and a couple other things. That'll go to our sales department and we'll get back to you immediately on those tools. Again, my name is Jim Mullany. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020. I hope everyone stays safe and have a great weekend.